I like surprises. I do. And when a show can do something so completely unexpected, I appreciate that. It's pretty awesome. So let's talk about Last of Us episode 3 called Long Long Time. Now, just like any of my episodic reviews like this, there's going to be spoilers. It's just there's no way around it because you can't talk about the episode without talking about what happens in the episode. So yeah, tread carefully if you haven't seen Last of Us episode 3 yet. The one thing that really surprises me about this show is how quickly it goes by. Like an hour, out in this case, like an hour and 20 minutes. It goes by like a flash. You're so involved, you're so locked in to what's going on that you don't feel the time passing. You just, next thing you know, oh, credits are rolling. Oh, it's over. Oh, okay then. This episode starts out with Joel and Ellie, basically walking, right? Walking to find Bill. And we don't know who Bill is. I mean, those of us who have played the game before, we know who Bill is, or we somewhat. Anyway, so yeah, we're on our way. And we stop off at a little place where Joel has stashed some supplies. And Ellie finds a clicker trapped underneath all this rubble and starts to toy with it. And yeah, it's again something I'd never really seen before, and nothing we've seen from Ellie yet. And the sort of curiosity to pity to let's get rid of this thing, let's dispatch this thing. So yeah, it was an interesting scene. Then we get some really let's be honest, some horrific imagery when they come across this pit full of skeletons. And basically the story is the soldiers evacuated a bunch of small towns to go to a quarantine zone. And if there wasn't room, well, bad things happen. And I was sort of surprised because I thought this was going to start off with a flashback, just like the previous episodes. Turns out most of this episode is a flashback about Nick Offerman's character of Bill. And he's a survivalist. He's one of those guys who, probably had a bunch of toilet paper and tin cans full of food and all that sort of stuff. I mean, a damn arsenal down in his basement. And you see this montage of him getting prepped, and you're like, okay, so I know what's going to happen here. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. This is showing sort of how he got to where he was, and then we'll get back to Joel and Ellie and all that. No, that doesn't happen. Frank, played by Murray Bartlett, falls in this little hole that Bill has created to protect his area there, and yeah, makes him dinner, and they fall in love, which I didn't expect. I didn't expect a story about couples, a story about life with these two people in love, and that's really what it comes down to. There's a tendency, I think, in a lot of people, they look at something like this and they go, "Oh, this is woke," or "This is whatever." This is literally just the story of two people in love, and they're in a situation, and it's beautifully done. It's so well done that I completely dismissed the idea that this is what I was expecting from this episode. I just said, no, sit back and enjoy this. This is some great stuff. And we get this little scene, I guess it's still in the past, right? With Joel and Tess, played by Anna Torv. She's back for at least a little bit here. And they're talking about their plans. They're talking about things that they're going to be doing to trade between themselves. Very, very cool stuff. And of course, you see that yes, they have a past. Joel and Bill have a history together. And Bill doesn't really like Joel too much. And it's just fun to see the whole this whole interplay between these two characters. Seriously, I was sold on their relationship. I was sold on this episode. And then the sickness happens, Frank's sickness. And I have to say, I'm like, I can't believe how easily I was drawn into this story between these two characters, their hopes, their dreams, their life together. And then the eventual end where, yeah, Bill says, yeah, we're going out together. And it was so beautifully done that I can't help but sit back and just be super impressed with how efficiently this story was told, but how super sucked in I was. And I think most people are going to be that way. They're going to be sucked into this story. I think this just goes to show you that Craig Mazin is a force to be reckoned with going forward. I mean, this guy knows how to tell a story, knows how to get you sucked in, and it's so impressive. Of course, Neil Druckmann's writing here, helping it along, and it's really interesting too because I think a lot of people, they know the game, and this is completely different from the game. This is definitely taking that side road where you didn't expect this was going to happen. And Neil Druckmann said in I guess in the making of at the end of the episode that yeah, there were situations where there were diversions that could happen, and as long as it was better than the original source material, we kept it in, and if it wasn't, we just kept with what the game did. But here was a situation where the story was so important and so well done that yeah, it made sense to take this diversion, and yeah, I'm really happy that they did that. But it's going to be interesting how this sort of it's sort of like an interlude right in the middle of this story that's got some driving force to it. It's going to be interesting how this plays when the show is actually binged. I mean, is this going to be one of those things where, in rewatches, are you going to skip through it? Or are you going to watch it again? It's going to be interesting to see how all that plays out. Fact is, I love this episode, and I really love this show. I love the acting. I think, I mean, I think Nick Offerman and Murray Bartlett are probably going to be up for some sort of award at the end of the year, with Emmys or whatever. I mean, just like, wow, give them the awards, because I was so drawn into their story, and they were so, both of them. And I guess it's because you're spending a lot of time with them. You're spending time with them through the years. It's interesting to see how their relationship changed, but also was just so strong, and it was beautifully done. So long time. I didn't expect to be talking about The Last of Us week to week, but man, every episode it's like, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about it and see what other people think. So yeah, let me know what you think about Last of Us, and especially this one, long time. Let me know. We'll talk about it. So thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.